Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments, such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org.
Congress is now deciding the future of funding for public radio and public television. Hello, this is Tom Michael, General Manager of Boise State Public Radio. This rescission request, or clawback of approved funding, passed through the U.S. House, and now it's before the U.S. Senate. This is the time to let your senator from Idaho know about your support of the news and music that public radio provides. Contact information at protectmypublicmedia.org.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Jim Gaudette. You're listening to Idaho Matters. For 25 years, the Serenata Orchestra has been bringing music to the Treasure Valley, providing free concerts to the community so that everybody has the chance to experience the classics. And we wanted to learn more about their group, so we invited the nonprofit to join us in studio for a live performance today. And before we get into everybody's names and all that fun stuff, I thought we'd start with a song. So here we go. We're going to hear the Serenata Orchestra. Right. That was the Serenata Orchestra. Let's see. Barb Klickner, Beth Bowman, Leah Bateman-King, and Allie Lindquist. And we're being joined by group's outreach coordinators, Tammy Roby and Leon Felzine. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Tammy or Leon? Leon or Leonie?
Leanne, actually.
Oh my god, I just wow today. Tammy or Leanne, tell us about the Serenata Orchestra and how it got started.
Well, Serenata Orchestra started out as a community outreach, really as an Eagle, where the community there had many young students who couldn't actually have a full orchestra. And so the members of Serenata at that time joined the orchestra so that those high school students could also have the experience of playing in a string orchestra. At that point, it was actually called Eagle Chamber Orchestra. And in about year 2000, we registered a Serenata Orchestra, and that starts the legacy that we have today.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Tammy, grab that microphone and put it right in your face like an ice cream cone. There we go. Tammy, how many musicians are part of the orchestra?
We have 93 musicians.
Oh my gosh.
It's a huge orchestra. It's awesome.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. And so many. And I'm guessing they're parts of other orchestras too and other organizations.
I think there are a few that are, but largely this is a volunteer organization for people that have been out of music for a long time, or that are educators, or people just right out of college. So my experience was that, when I started having kids, I played through high school and through a little bit into college. But once I got into college, I didn't have enough time for my music. And then I got married, and then I had kids. And 30 years passes, and I haven't had my cello out. I've been playing, it's been in the closet.
Sure.
So about 2012, I brought my instrument back out. But what Serenata offered was the opportunity to play in an orchestra with a bunch of other people that were volunteering their time and just super passionate about being in an orchestra and playing wonderful music together.
That is fantastic. Okay.
Barb.
You're right there on the microphone. So
Hey.
go for it.
So I just wanted to say one other thing. Our conductor is Jennifer Drake, who also conducts Boise Field Youth Orchestra. And one of the things she's passionate about and tells her students is, many of us learn instruments as children. We're not all going to be professional musicians, but organizations like Serenata give adults an opportunity to continue their musical life through all their years, and so I think in addition to those adults who finish certain responsibilities and come back to music, it gives a path forward for student musicians who are going on to other careers.
Well, like you said, not necessarily, in a big professional orchestra somewhere that's your full-time job. This is your chance to play and be part of something, and still have the rest of your life.
And also to give back to the community, because there are a lot of people, in our families and out in the community that don't get to experience an orchestra, especially a full orchestra. And we have, a full string section. We have winds, we have brass, we have percussion, we have a harpist. There are so many different people, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a whole bunch of people, brass. But, it's really rare to get to experience that because we do offer our concerts for free, so that the community can come in and get that exposure. One of my girls is getting married, and her fiance had really never been to an orchestra performance and had, kind of a jaded view of what that classical, performance would be like. His eyes are open. He understands the joy that, that comes from performing and from seeing people perform in a really fun way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you guys look like you're having fun. Barb, step back up. What do you play?
I play viola, and I was board president of Serenata for 10 or 11 years.
How long have you been playing?
Pardon me?
How long have you been playing?
I started violin when I was 9 years old,
Mm.
and I played through high school, and then life kind of took over.
Yeah.
And then I got back into it, and then I went into a music store, actually Telford's here, and I'll give them a plug here in Boise. And I picked up a viola and I played it, and I said, "Ooh, I want to do this." So then I took lessons from Jen, and that's how I met her. So,
Yeah. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Leah, hop on over to the microphone. You play the violin.
I do.
And how long have you been playing?
Since I was 6 years old.
Yeah. Same kind of story?
Well, a little bit different. I was a music major, and then I taught orchestra in the Boise schools for 34 years.
Wow.
I did some playing then, but since I've retired now, I have a lot more time to play for me. And I actually play 4 times a week in
Nice.
various groups. Actually, and if I could give a real quick little plug, one of the groups I actually don't play, I conduct a string orchestra, which is a sister orchestra to Serenata. It's not quite as rigorous. It's maybe more of a teaching kind of format. And again, it's for adult learners or people that haven't played for a long time. Our spring concert this last spring, we had 43 musicians play.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
that's very gratifying. I am just passionate about adults having a place to play.
Well, and that can be hard. If you're not, in a, like you said, a professional orchestra. Okay, Tammy and Leanne, what kind of music do you play? We heard one example, but what's the range?
We play an awful lot of things. We played standard classical. So I think last year we played the planets,
Nice.
a lot of those suites, and that was really, really nice. But we also have a lot of fun pieces. So there was a kind of a Day of the Dead concert that we did where we were highlighting all of like Mexican composers, Mexican songs.
Nice.
And so we played a lot of those that were, pieces that you would recognize, but like called How Pongo del Oso. And so that was one. We also just did Tree Fort, and there we were doing a lot of fun stuff. We played the Bohemian Rhapsody, and Gemma Arts, Ashley sang with us along with the entire audience in the Egyptian Theater while we were at the classical fort at Tree Fort. We just had a concert that was a Your Mom concert, so we played things that were mom themed. So Mamma Mia was one of those pieces, for instance. We also played things like Falling Water that were inspirational. Just a wide variety of things, wide variety.
So on the mom's concert, they had some of the musicians on our group have their children play with them. So it was a
Nice.
great experience for everybody.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to have you guys play another song. So we're going to move a few things around while we're doing that. I'm going to knock everything over while I can. Let's see. I'm going to just move that briefly. And again, you're listening to the, Serenata Orchestra. I'm going to move that and move that. And they're going to play another song. Oh, what are you going to say? Play, Leanne.
We are going to play Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White by LaRue, David, and Louis Guy, an arranged quartet by Kenneth Abling, and the quintet adaptation by our very own Leah Bateman King.
They've got another piece prepared for us. Let us take a listen. That was amazing. That was a very small part of the Serenata Orchestra. Barb Klickner on the viola, Beth Bowman on bass, Leah Bateman King and Allie Lindquist on the violin. We're also being joined by the group's outreach coordinators, Tammy Roby, who is, Tammy Roby and Leanne Felzine. Leanne, I didn't want to leave you out. I'm so sorry. Okay, in the break, where nobody else could hear it, we had Leah was talking about who can come to your concerts and who should come to your concerts.
If you have ever been to a Serenata concert, you probably notice that we are maybe not what you expect out of classical orchestra. Jen Drake makes every concert unique and fun in her own way, and we are very family friendly. We love to see little kids there getting an exposure to music and having a good time. And if somebody cries during a song, oh well, we don't care. We do not charge admission to our concerts. We are funded by donations only. And so it's a great place to have a family date on a Saturday night.
Leanne, I think what Leah's saying is very true. I mean, if you're playing everything from classical music to Bohemian Rhapsody, You've got it all. Grab the microphone, put it in your face. And tell me, Leanne, you do a lot of concerts. They're free. Why is it important to get out there in the community and do these concerts and not just do it for yourselves?
Wow, I think for a lot of reasons. Getting that exposure to classical music is an amazing, like, mental kind of health, good thing to do. It's exposure to the arts for everybody in the community, especially folks that are maybe having a more challenging time. It just helps to get into something and lose yourself in the music, enjoy the evening, and not have to worry about making sure that you can pay for that ticket to get into it. I think also the nice thing about having adults being able to play. But I think for me, the joy is seeing my family in the audience having as much fun, if not more, than I am, and everybody else's families as well.
Wow. Okay. Tammy, grab the microphone. Tell me how many concerts do you guys do a year on average?
3 a year.
3 a year.
Plus jump.
Oh, plus jump for Christmas, yes.
Jump for Christmas. Nice. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Where do you usually play, or does it matter?
It's usually South Junior High School. We have our concerts there.
But I think that this fall we're going to be switching to Bora because of the special piano concerto we'll be doing with Alexis, the Gershwin and Liam.
Alexis Feo Fernandez is going to be playing with us, playing Gershwin Concerto in F.
Ooh, in
He's
November.
played with us several times, yes, and he lives here locally, but he's just a world-class ability pianist. He is fabulous. We have so much fun.
Wow. Oh man. Okay, Leanne, how much fun is this? You're talking about a lot about giving back to the community, and how much fun is it to get together with everybody and do this?
Oh, it's so fun. So just rehearsals are a blast, right? We get to meet once a week. We meet on Tuesdays at Boise High School and have our rehearsals. And even that is really fun, just to get to meet other people that are like-minded with music, wanting to play their best at their ability. That's super fun, but the concerts are out of this world. My first experience was incredible. So the very first concert I went to, there was an African-American person there that had written, I think, some songs as well. So the orchestra performed those, and it was amazing. The cultural aspect of that was incredible, but then we also have a super amount of fun. So last time in the Your Mom concert, we played something called The Overture to the Bosun's Mate, and this is from Ethel Smythe, who was kind of in the suffragette movement. And so we're playing through this very classical piece. And as we get to this kind of marching part, part of the Gemma Arts folks had gotten signs that were vote for women. They marched across the stage during that twice, and the audience reaction was phenomenal. I could tell so many stories.
Who can be in it? Who can be part of Serenata?
I think anyone who can play an instrument to a certain level. We're playing some fairly complex things, but we really would like to have adult learners that are, able to do specific things. Like with cello, we probably want to be able to play tenor clef and some thumb position, but not too much. People play at their ability in Serenata, so if they're having trouble with a section, they might just kind of, do a little simpler version of it. There's no judgment in the orchestra at all. We are as helpful as we can be. And then if people don't feel comfortable in Serenata, if it's just a little too advanced for them, then they can always go to our sister orchestra, Arpeggio, and play there.
Nice. All right. As we said, I think your next concerts are in November. We're talking to the Serenata Orchestra, Barb Klickner on the viola, Beth Bowman on bass, Leah Bateman-King and Allie Lindquist on the violin. I do not want to forget Leanne Felzine.
On cello.
On a beautiful cello. It is absolutely gorgeous. And Tammy Roby, outreach coordinator. All right, I'm going to have you guys play a song out. So we're going to have to move all these microphones again. And while we're doing that, Leanne, can you move that one over there? And bring that one over there. I will say this real quickly. I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Gemma Gaudette. This is the Serenata Orchestra. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. We love it.
And that'll do it for this episode of Idaho Matters. Thanks so much for listening. And just a reminder, you can find all of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.